So you're thinking about moving to the greater Boston area or downtown Boston. You're just trying to do research. You're trying to figure out exactly what it's like. And you need to know because you're searching for where to live here in Boston. Well, if that's the video you're looking for, that's what we're bringing to you. Get ready, because here we go. So if you're relocating to Boston, what's up, everybody? This is Joe with the Turco Group right here in Boston, Massachusetts. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, living, playing, and what it's like to be a green teamer, make sure you tap that subscribe button, click the little bell so that you're notified every time we do a new video. Honestly, we get so many phone calls, texts, emails every day from people who are relocating here, and we absolutely love it. If you're thinking about moving anywhere in the area, relocating, or coming here to stay, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even send Paul Revere. Days, nights, weekends, however you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back when moving to Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, everyone, let's get right into it and not waste any time. It's so imperative that when you're starting your search for here in Boston, that you know a couple different things. One, there are many types of different properties and different areas right in Boston and greater Boston. Most people don't realize it, but yes, we are a huge metro city and we have a ton of people. But once you start going outside of the metro and into some of the suburbs, it is very different. There are varied types of communities and varied types of properties. The best way to learn about these towns and cities around Boston, of course, is to get out there and spend time in them. So that's why when working with clients, I always suggest a visit here to kind of get a feel for things so that we can really lock down on what we're looking for. But just so you know, some of the towns and cities, including places like Waltham, Sudbury, Winchester, Stoneham, they're downright pastoral with widely spaced single-family homes, got big lush yards, long driveways. You're not seeing many of your neighbors. And then some places, including places in Boston proper, Quincy, Medford, Cambridge, are more densely urban and come with all the, bustle and the activity and all of the energy that you would expect from a big city. So one of the things that you have to start thinking about is what it's going to be like. And then you start drilling down into some of the different parts. Like, say you like Boston. Well, are you considering Cambridge, Somerville, Quincy? All those things. So it's a good idea to ask yourself what you're looking for in terms of a home or a neighborhood or an environment. Boston's South End, for instance, teams with young professionals, and the North End, well, let's be honest, like I've said it before, it's a lot of Italians pretending to be Tony Soprano. They're out there LARPing and role playing and like, hey, if that's what you want, it's going to be awesome. But if it's not, well, you might want to keep looking. And there's a lot of parts too where there's a lot of college students. So like if you're in like Allston, Brighton, you better be ready for that because, parts of it are going to be noisy. So that's what we're getting after and looking at what you need to know in terms of your search. So we're going to get to some of the location stuff in just a minute. But one of the things I want to let you know that you really have to hone in on when you're starting your search is 3 major factors. And they're the ones that are probably going to matter the most to you. And those are location, space, and cost. Let's be honest, in our market, satisfying all 3 at the same time in Boston, it's kind of like winning the lottery while you're on the rocket ship to Mars. Thanks, Elon. Even those with cash to spare, honestly, you're gonna sometimes have a difficult time hitting the trifecta due to, just a dearth of supply amid perpetually high demand. Everybody's always looking for places to live in this housing market in Boston. So it's important to figure out what's most important specifically to you. If you're going for size, you will likely end up living kind of somewhere distant. It might be a place like Arlington, it might be Lexington, it might be Milton, it might be Woburn. It, could even be further out. So you could be in places like Canton or Reading or Swampscott or Peabody. If you're choosing those things because you want that space, you're probably going to have, a much longer commute. So let's get right into kind of the different areas and when you're starting your search, what you need to know. Let's have a look at Boston's neighborhoods. And that's where you're going to want to know each of these specific areas. One, because each of them will have drastically different amenities, different feels, and different price points. That's the thing that you really need to figure out, and that's how we're going to start our search, is knowing about these different types of areas. So we're going to start right in downtown Boston because there's a bunch of neighborhoods that you really need to know about. The first one that we're going to start with, and it's one of my favorites, is the Back Bay. So it's Boston's other downtown. It's bustling with people, and this is neighborhood where basically it's chic and new meets opulence of antiquity. This is where you're going to see all those brownstones. It's right by the Commons. The back side of it's on the Charles. This has a very specific feel and, let's be honest, a very specific price point. If you like this area, know what you're getting into. Let's look at the next neighborhood that we have in Boston. It is right next to the Back Bay, and that is the South End. See the best of Boston that the other tourists forgot to show you, or the other walking tours forgot to show you, or just everybody's basically forgot. The section of Boston for true Bostonians. The South End contains some of the best dining and food, and anyone that watches this channel knows that I love my dining because I'm kind of a foodie. And it has some of the best scenery in the entire city. Now, it used to be kind of like the best kept secret, but it's now gotten to the point where it's starting to get well known and people are very, very much so seeking it out. Definitely check it out. It's something that you need to know about. We're rounding it out. We're starting over in that same little quadrant right along the Charles, and we're going to keep going with that with the FENWAY neighborhood. It's more than just a ballpark. It's charming and disarming, and it's kind of like the hodgepodge of the hub. It's got a little bit of everything. Parking is terrible, and you might hate your life during Red Sox games with how much traffic there is if you for some reason own a car. But again, it's a great neighborhood and you need to know about it, and there's a lot of fun. There's also something to be said about being able to walk to a baseball game and walk home. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick it over to actual downtown Boston. We're going to bring it over a little bit and show you what this neighborhood is like. So you're going to have dizzying streets that are kind of squiggling and squirming through, all of this looming and modern architecture featuring things like Boston Common, Chinatown, the Theater District, and it's got that truly urban feel with all of the kind of cityscape and skyscrapers. It's just amazing, and it's something you really want to know about and really want to check out. Right alongside it that you want to know about is another neighborhood directly within Boston, and I'll give you one guess on why it's called this, and that is the Greenway. And the Greenway is kind of like the social centerpiece that's merging old and new, and you can kind of explore the inline wharfs and colonial Boston, and it's just got all of this like contemporary feel, but it's also got a string of parks that you can walk through that are basically like this big crescent or pathway where you can see all of this greenery that's set out in the city. So, I mean, it's amazing. Kicking it back up, we're going to go to one of my favorites, especially to tease. I'm looking at you, cannoli fans, because, I mean, God, it's not even a second-rate pastry. I mean, I know I'm going to get comments about it, but, like, honestly, it's not even top 10. There's better pastries. But anyways, we got to talk about the North End neighborhood. Let's talk about the history, the hustle, the heritage. You have all of these different things, and it's one of the densest collections of sights, sounds, and scenery in our entire city. But please don't call it Little Italy. It's just simply the North End to us. If you want to get fancy, and I know you do, one of my favorite spots is Beacon Hill. You're reaching the top of Beacon Hill is kind of daunting if you're getting in one of those pedicabbers. It's going to cost you a price. but fortunately, there's just so much history and charm at the base as there is at the peak. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous part of Boston, and I can't emphasize enough how many people come here, not just to live, because it's amazing, but because it's so picturesque. I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of people coming here just for Instagram photos or to shoot a YouTube video or things like that, because it is one of the most beautiful areas in the city. All right, and last but certainly not least, my favorite neighborhood in the city, and that is the Seaport. It is the newest neighborhood by far in America's oldest city. The Seaport is the gateway to South Boston, aka Southie. I'm sure you guys have all watched Good Will Hunting. And one of the most kind of chic, sunny, and just oceanic destinations in all of town. If you want something that is cutting edge, everything looks new, and you're getting just kind of that, oh my God, this is amazing and almost futuristic feel, the Seaport is gonna be for you. So guys, if you're liking this video, what I want you to do is drop a quick like and a comment and let me know which of these cities are you most excited, or parts of the city, obviously in the neighborhoods, about learning more about. Because when you're doing your research here, everybody's got these kind of preconceived notions about, hey, this part's gonna be awesome. Oh, this part's gonna be better. Or, oh, I'm really looking forward to this part. I wanna know, we're kind of like halfway through, what you're thinking. Do you like it? What towns are you most excited for? If for some reason I'm not hitting on one of them and you wanna know more about it, I wanna know so that I can make another video and help you out. So let's get back to it though. Okay, so the next thing that you need to know about is the distinct areas that are surrounding the city. And that's going to be the North Shore, which is comprised of a bunch of towns leading up and out of Boston that are following, obviously, the shore of the ocean. Its counterpart, the South Shore, and then what is called Metro West. So that's where, you know, you're outside the city and you're going westward down 90. Now, why are these three distinct areas to know very important? Well, let's start with this fact. Everybody knows Boston is a pain with traffic. I'll be honest, I had a couple clients that had talked to me. They were relocating here from out of state and they were adamant. They wanted to live on the South Shore. Now, the problem was both of them had jobs at Tufts, which is north of the city. And I pleaded with them. I begged them. I told them, hey, you want to know what? You really want to reconsider. You're going to be hitting what's called Cape traffic. There's where you have to go through Boston every day. When you're coming back home, you're just going to get hammered brutally by traffic, and you're going to spend most of your time commuting. You're not going to be happy, and if your job is there, you really need to be closer to that. As much as you love the area of the South Shore, it is not going to be appropriate time-wise. So they respectfully disagreed. We got them a great house on the South Shore. I mean, phenomenal, just gorgeous. And in a great town with a great school district. They were super happy until about 2 months later. My phone rings and I answer and I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? You know, how's the house? How's, you know, the kids? How's life? You know, all the regular things that you would expect. And they said, Joe, we're miserable. We can't stand it. We're spending 2 to 3 hours a day in the car. You were right. We should have listened to you. We can't do this anymore. We have to change it up. We have to do something different. We have to make it better. Fortunately, happy ending to that story. And it was where what they were able to do is turn that initial property into an investment property. We were able to rent it out and then get them another property. That is not a common situation. I don't want anybody to think that that is. They were able to kind of like have that get out of jail free card and have that happy ending. But what people need to know is it matters what part you live in, whether it's in downtown Boston and it's different neighborhoods and you don't need a car and you can walk everywhere or take public transportation. Awesome. If it's where on the South Shore and you're either going into the city or have a job that way, perfect. Same for all the other regions. Are there big differences? Absolutely. And we've done some videos on that. So go check them out. And that's where I'm going to leave you on this one, because it's so important right now that you know how to start your search for where to live in Boston. And what I highly urge you to do is reach out, because these are all things that we love helping clients with. We love helping you privately, but the only way that we can do that is if you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or, you know, drop a comment down below. That's an option that helps as well. So I hope you've found this video informative. I hope it's helped out a little bit. I hope you like the tour of our couple different neighborhoods and our major regions. And until the next video, I will see you soon. Thanks, guys.